Hey Dennis, D'Angelo here. I run Practice Biopsy. Many of you probably know me, okay? So this seminar is going to be all about why building and buying a dental practice is easier when you're younger, but harder when you're older, which is counterintuitive to a lot of dentists who think the more time and experience you have in the game, the easier it's going to be. We actually think that the opposite is true. Okay, so not every single dentist even wants to own a practice, and if you don't, that's okay. There's a great CE taught by Dr. Dominic Glavich called the Productive Associate that might be perfect for you, and I highly recommend it. It might already be out at the time of you seeing this, okay? Also, if you do want to build or buy your own dental practice, I have a comprehensive CE seminar and training program that'll help you do that, okay? But this seminar is going to be about escaping the associate dentist matrix, okay? So I opened a startup dental practice right out of dental school. And people said, well, wasn't that hard? And I say back to them, no, it was actually the easiest time I possibly could have done it, okay? So almost all dentists come into dental school with the dream of practice ownership someday. Very few D1s, when you talk to them, say, yeah, I want to be an associate forever. Most D1s say they want to own a practice, and somewhere along the line that dream changes or fades or weakens, and either it doesn't happen or it takes a lot longer than they thought, okay? And why we have this dream is different for everybody. For some people, it's the autonomy of direction and design of the office. For some, it's the financial freedom that they have and the enhanced ability that you'll have to care for your family and provide for your family or for yourself. And it could also just be the satisfaction of building something for yourself. Okay? But what happens? Most dentists, dental students, they graduate, they get out of school, and they get a corporate job. Or they get a job as like a low-level associate in a group practice. And you tell yourself that you're not ready. Okay? You tell yourself you're not ready. And your friends and your family will probably tell you the same thing. You need more time. You should work somewhere for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years first. And you believe that you'll be ready in just a few more years. Okay? The associate tells himself that they might be ready in 6 months. Or my goal is to have my own practice in a year. But this year becomes 3 years. And then this becomes 7 years. And now you're 40 years old, still working as an associate, working your butt off for 25, 30% of production or collections when you know in your heart that you did not go to dental school with the intention of being an associate dentist, an employee dentist for the rest of your life, okay? And as you're getting older, lifestyle creep happens and the comfort illusion happens, okay? When you were a new grad, the world was kind of your oyster. You could do whatever you wanted. You had very little responsibility. But now as you've been an associate for several years, well, maybe you've got a mortgage to pay and you've got to pay that on time. You can't have too many bumps in the road. Maybe you've got car payments, okay? Maybe a car payment or 2 or even 3, okay? Maybe you have a family to support, a spouse, and maybe some kids now that you have to take care of, and you need a steady paycheck, all right? You have lifestyle demands and bills that really you can't rock the boat on, okay? And the prospect of leaving a stable associate job to start a practice becomes increasingly intimidating, all right? As a new grad dentist, again, really the world is your oyster. It's as little responsibility as you'll ever have. As a new grad, you're held back only by fear. As a seasoned and older adult, you are held back not by fear, but the reality of your responsibilities. As a new grad dentist, listen to that again, you're held back by fear. As an older dentist, you're held back by the reality of your responsibilities. Okay? So the security of your current job and lifestyle now, that felt so great having that paycheck coming out of school, now it feels like a trap. And the dream of owning your practice seems more distant than ever. It's starting to feel more distant rather than closer as more time's going by. You're going to start telling yourself illogical excuses, okay? Things that aren't even true, but they sound good, so you tell them to yourself. Maybe I can make more money as an associate. I'll have more free time as an associate. I just don't know where to start. Or I still need to be an associate longer. I still don't know what I'm doing. Or negative self-labels like I'm not smart enough to do this. I can't do this. I don't have the resources to do this. I can't. They start to pile up and self-affirm, your mind will begin to self-affirm why you can't do it, to wrap logic around the fact that you haven't done it, even though you said you wanted to when you were a D1 or when you were a young dentist. You said you wanted to, but you haven't, so your mind is going to create negative labels to adjust to the new reality as a coping mechanism, basically, okay? But imagine waking up one day and realizing that you missed the optimal time window to start your practice. Maybe it really was when you were 27, like I did. Maybe your optimal window was when you were 29. That was like before you had a ton of responsibilities, you were mobile, you could move around, that would have been the best time. But now you wake up, you realize you missed that window, and now you're 40, okay? It's like Neo waking up from the Matrix. You come to see the true reality of the situation, one where the perceived safety of waiting to get more experience and yada yada, whatever you told yourself, was really just an illusion all along. That perceived waiting was not safety, it was actually making it harder, okay? Starting a practice right out of dental school or buying one out of dental school, while challenging, comes with several key advantages, okay? Number one, you've got more flexibility than you're ever gonna have, okay? You've got fewer personal and fewer financial commitments, and you can adapt more easily to the demands of a new practice, okay? So if you need to stay extra late to see a patient, or work Saturdays or some evenings to get the practice off the ground, that's okay, because you don't have a lot of other responsibilities at that point in life, okay? You also have freedom of mobility. You can move wherever you want because you haven't set your roots yet, okay? You can go wherever you want to go for this practice to get things off the ground, okay? Because you're not tied to a bunch of responsibilities yet, okay? You don't have to worry about pulling your kids out of school because you don't have any kids yet, okay? Also, lifestyle overhead, okay? As a young doctor, your lifestyle expenses and lifestyle overhead, not your practice overhead, your lifestyle overhead are as low as they're ever going to be. Your life is only going to get more expensive as you get older. Your lifestyle will only get more expensive as you get older, which is going to make getting your practice off the ground more challenging, okay? Time's also on your side, okay? You have the energy and time of youth to devote to growing your practice, building patient relationships, and refining your business model. You can work long hours if you need to without feeling like you're neglecting time away from your kids or your spouse or any other things that you have situated for yourself. You have the most time and energy that you'll ever have with your youth, okay? Also, the learning curve we have to take into account, okay? The early years we can think of as an extension of your education. I was learning so much when I was 27, opening my practice from scratch, okay? The learning of dental school just kind of went straight into the learning of practice management. And get this, if you open a practice when you're 27 or 28, or if you open a practice when you're 40, you still have to learn the same steps. You're either learning them at 28 or you're learning them at 40. And it's a lot easier to make and recover from mistakes when you're 28 than when you're 40 years old, okay? So making this decision of investing in buying or building your dental practice when you're young is something that your future self is going to thank you for, okay? The best time to plant a tree is 5 years ago. The second best time is today, okay? The longer you wait, the more complicated it becomes. It doesn't become more simple. So take advantage of your current situation, leverage your youth, make your mistakes early, and embrace the journey of entrepreneurship. Okay, remember that the fear you feel today will only grow with time because of the things that we talked about earlier in the presentation. Take the red pill now, and your future self will thank you for your decision to seize the opportunity when it was truly the easiest time to do so. Embrace the reality beyond the matrix and own your own practice like you told yourself you would. Hope you enjoyed this webinar, gave you something to think about. And again, Practice Biopsy does offer a very comprehensive training program, CE course, for helping you build or buy your very first dental practice. Look into it, see if it's right for you. Stay lean. Hey Dennis, D'Angelo here. I run Practice Biopsy.